Good morning, everyone. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. It's 5:30 a.m. in my house. I am up and starting my day. The rest of my family is obviously asleep. I'm hoping that it's bright enough for you to see, and it looks like it is. I'm starting my dinner for the day. I'm taking some of those pork loins that you saw me get in my Costco haul, and I'm turning them in to BBQ Pulled Pork. So I got 2 chunks of those loins. It's about 1.5 pounds, almost 2 pounds of pork loins, and then I have a quart of my homemade barbecue sauce. All I'm going to do is dump it on there, turn my crock pot on low, and let it cook for 12 hours. Now we're going to keep letting this cook. I'll be back in about 4 to 6 hours to stir and start working on pulling the, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. Start working on pulling apart and making it pulled pork. That'll be in about 4 to 6 hours. And then at about the 10-hour mark, we'll be adding our veggies. Alright guys, we'll be back. Alright guys, it's been 4 hours. Now the reason I put this crock pot on low is because you see that even on low, no, not 3 hours, it's been 4 hours. Even on low at 4 hours, you see how that's boiling? So you want to set it according to how the temperature on your crock pot works, because I know all crock pots are different on how well they or how much they heat up. And as you can see how this is just crumbly. But before we do that, on the bottom is all kinds of juice. Now, before I got Thrive Life, I used to suck up about half of that juice, and then I'd stick the juice into a jar and then freeze it and use it as a like additive to soups that I'd make. It adds a really good flavor for any kind of soups that have pork in them, especially if you're going with a tomato-based pork soup. It's excellent. So I would suck up about half the liquid on the bottom, because it always has liquid in them. It always has juice in it when you cook it down. Now that I have Thrive Life, I leave all the juice in there and use it to reconstitute my Thrive Life. Now, if you don't have Thrive Life and you're using fresh, like I said, take out about half of the juice. What you do with it is your choice, whether you throw it away, put it on top of your doggy food. They love that as a nice little treat. Warning, make sure that it's a large breed dog that you do that for, not a smaller dog, because it'll just go right through a smaller dog. Lesson learned, trust me. If I'm doing fresh and I suck out half the juice, we like a lot of onions, so I do 2 full onions and about 1.5 or the equivalent of 1.5 diced mixed peppers. But since I have Thrive Life, I just use Thrive Life, and it's 1 cup of peppers, the mixed diced peppers, and 1 cup of the onions. And mash it all down in there. Then you just start pulling it apart. And instead of making you sit through all of this, I'm going to turn the camera off and bring you back when I've got all this pulled apart. By the time you get all of it pulled apart, the Thrive Life will have sucked up all the juice. If you're doing fresh onions and peppers, pull apart all the meat before you add your fresh veggies and then mix it all up good together. And then you cook it down for about another 2 hours of cooking. And you've got yourself some really good pulled pork. Alright guys, I'll be back once I get all this pulled apart. And there we have it, you guys. I would have brought you back after I pulled it all apart, but my batteries were dead and I had to recharge it. But that's what it looks like now that it's all done after I tore it apart into little shreds of barbecue pork. I let it cook for an extra hour, and as you can see, the peppers are completely rehydrated and big and beautiful and fluffy. Let me see if I can find an onion here. Anyways, that is an onion, nice and full and rehydrated and beautiful. We already ate dinner. As you can see, some of it's missing. But my favorite thing about barbecue pulled pork is what I'm going to do tomorrow in my next video. I'm going to be making leftover, makeover, barbecued pulled pork potato gravy. And I'll bring you back for that video also. So there we have it, guys. Simple, easy. I know I had said earlier, cook it for 10 to 12 hours. But my crock pot, this one, I think my low is broken. And even on low, this thing boils and gets really hot. And it was done in 5 hours all total. If you put it on high, same thing, it'll be done in 4 or 5 hours. If you have a crock pot that actually works on low, it'll take the 8 to 10 hours for it to cook and break down and be ready to go. So it'll be a good full crock pot day if that's what you want. Alright guys, I hope you liked that video. And if there's anything else you would like to see me do, leave a comment in the comment section down below and give me some ideas on more things you'd like to see me film. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next one. And remember, stay positive. Bye!